Welcome to the Horse Talk Show.
You never heard of a talking horse?
With your host, Louisa Barton.
I want to be a famous rider. I should like to race.
Presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital.
Truth is, I help horses with people problems.
Now here's the Brit on the bit, Louisa Barton.
Yeah, baby.
Larson Farms is our TV broadcast sponsor. Mr. Richard Larson, a man of great integrity, cares about every single bale of hay and about taking care of his customers. He also has a huge heart for those genuinely in need. Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital. Welcome to the Horse Talk Show presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larson Farms, our TV broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
I thought you were going to just say Idaho's finest.
Idaho's finest.
Pete's not in Idaho, so apparently it doesn't count.
No.
I'm Louisa Barton, host and executive producer of the Horse Talk Show. My co-host, Dancing Pete Rodda, is in the studio. We're still missing Maria Lacasse. She's busy.
Where's
That's a good
Maria?
problem to have, you know. She's
My Maria.
She's
sorry.
you gonna sing? She's massaging horses and
Okay.
people. So we've got a great show lineup for you tonight. Some wonderful guests with us. We have Bre Ximenes. I did it right, I think.
Woo-hoo.
Yes. And she is with the trail. She's a volunteer coordinator for the Cross Florida Greenway. We're going to be talking about roll, run, ride, relay. Did I say that the right way around? Sort of.
You kind of got it.
I always mess it up.
Run, roll,
Yes.
fall down.
Fall down, probably, right? And then we also have Jenna Rovira joining us, the MTRA Development Director, to talk about their 40-year anniversary. And in the segment after this one, we will have Dr. Cayot talking about botulism because it is a hot topic in the news right now for horse owners with concerns. Fortunately, I don't think Florida has been affected at the moment by the recent recalls, but other states have been. And of course, we have listeners all around the country and the globe. So we want to make sure that people are aware of things to look out for. And Dr. Cayot's going to talk a little bit about what some of those signs and symptoms are in a horse and what to do and how to handle all of that. So we have a lot of exciting things coming up with our veterinarians from Peterson and Smith as well. Then, of course, we'll have Pete's tip of the week.
Woohoo!
Yes, and he'll be giving us some horsemanship advice. We're going to share with you a little bit in this segment about some of the activities you may have seen on Horse Talk Show on the go. And Isaac, our show producer, is going to roll those for us, so I know what order to go in. And I think we've got some event mentions as well. Oh, look at this. So, you know who that is, right? In the middle? That is the one and only April Mayberry of Mayberry Farm. She is the one who put the starting foundation training on the Kentucky Derby winner and the Breeders' Cup winner of 2022, Rich Strike and Flightline. And we were at the track both of those were trained at.
And she was at our Christmas party, right?
She was indeed. She's an amazing woman and a hard worker. Her team are fantastic. Here's some horses training at the track. You could be looking at potential future Grade 1 stakes race winners. And can I tell you, it doesn't matter whether the horse costs $15,000 or $2.5 million. April treats every single one of them the same way. And every horse in that barn loves her and respects her, and I'm amazed at what she does with these animals. She's just, she's really amazing. Her and Kim Harrison, her assistant, do a phenomenal job getting these horses prepped, giving them the best start in their racing career.
Looks
and
a little
then
cold
beyond.
out there.
It was very cold. That morning, I think we had about 10 layers on, and I would imagine those riders there were feeling it. But it was beautiful. We were showing off our lip chip vests.
Oh, who's that in the background? Is that
would be
Olivia?
Olivia, yes. We were having a good time. She was actually, oh, look at that one. Lip chip, lip chip.
Oh, I think that's an advertisement
I
picture.
think that's an advertisement picture myself. Brad Boland, you'd be proud of us. We were out there with the top folks. That's actually David Ingordo, who is probably fair to say, the top bloodstock agent in the world. That's him and his little dog, Rupert. And
Rupert.
Yes, honestly, some of the best horses, Flightline, Zenyatta, all purchased by him. He can really pick some winners. And there he is with Olivia. Great guy. Really pleasure to meet him. He's really picked some amazing horses out in his career, and it just continues. And he's actually traveling with Will Farish III, who is that young gentleman, and he is heir to the most magnificent Lane's End farm in Kentucky, and started by his grandfather. And they have some of the finest stallions in the world at Lane's End farm. And he took the time to chat to us a little bit there at April's, and he's kind of learning the ropes from David on how to be a really
just
good
like I'm learning
bloodstock
the
agent.
ropes from you, because it's thoroughbred
That's
industry. I have I don't know much, so when you throw names around, I'm like, huh?
Lane's End, Google that one.
Yes,
You'll
ma'am.
find that a good majority of the horses that started with April Mayberry are now there as stallions, and Zenyatta, who was started by April Mayberry, who's probably the most famous female thoroughbred perhaps in the world, was also trained
Still
by
say
April.
we need to get that OCLB and train.
You're right. And there's Brad Boland from Lip Chip, who came and gave us a wonderful little visit last week. We got to spend some time with him, introduced him to Hall of Fame trainer in America and Canada, I might add. We call him Ocala's Mark Cassie very, very proudly. We love Mark Cassie. And that is actually Nate Roberts, who is the nephew of Chloe, who is related to the Weber family, as in Live Oak International and Live Oak Stud. So small world. But he was actually traveling with Brad Boland, learning the ropes.
Yeah, I
Young
got to
man
meet Brad.
coming up.
He's a super nice guy.
He's wonderful. And this man thinks of everything. Look at these caps. I mean, really, a ponytail holder and a hair tie. He's the man. Look at him.
Yeah.
He's
I
the
need one of
man.
those with a ponytail hole.
I know you
and-
do. You do.
and a little holder.
I think this one would be wonderful for
Oh,
you.
yeah, definitely.
That would work great. Oh, look, it's see-through, though, on the camera. That's
Yeah.
great. Fantastic. But anyway, we had a great visit with him in a pilot program that's underway here. And he met Betsy.
Betsy.
So Larson meets Lip Chip.
There you
Doesn't
go.
get much better than that. And he lip chipped her horse.
Wow.
Is
The two great people
two
sitting
great
side by
people.
side.
Oh, bringing them together. Watch this. Brad's good too. I mean, it's like, what? Done. Just like that. Oop. There you go.
Super
Excellent.
nice.
Yep. Nice horse. Yep. There you go. So that was an awesome
I was
time.
going to say, isn't he around thoroughbreds all the time on the track? So
Yes.
quarter horse.
Yes.
Hey, this is easy.
Well, actually, he's around quarter horses. He
Oh,
actually
he
trains
does quarter horse.
220 quarter horses.
Oh, okay.
Race quarter horses. So, wow, we ran out of time already.
Yeah, we were talking
How
too
that-
much.
We were. Oh, we didn't even get to the word. Compassion.
Well, I'm going to be compassionately telling you
That
that it's
doesn't
time
count.
to
Isaac's over
go to
there
the next
shaking his
part.
head. He's going to want compassion only. We'll be
Yes.
back in just a few minutes after this break with Dr. Adam Cayot. Stay with us. This portion of the show is presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. And our TV broadcast sponsor is Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Supporting sponsors are DAC Vitamins and Minerals, Seminole Feed Stores, Lip Chip LLC, Piranha, Florida HVAC Services, Crystal Cryo, Ocala Dog Ranch, and The Drinking Post. This show is brought to you in part by DAC Vitamins and Minerals of Florida. All horses need a solid immune system, excellent joint support, a healthy gut, and DAC has all the vitamins and minerals they need with the NASC stamp of approval. So like them on Facebook now or go to feeddac.com. DAC, it makes a world of difference.
With over 70 years of collective experience in the horse industry, Lip Chip was built with integrity by horsemen for horsemen. Introducing the Chip Link system. Powered by Lip Chip, where a 15-digit unique ID becomes a key to unlock not only identity, but also health paperwork, owner information, and even photos of each horse. So simple, even a child can do it. future is here. The future is Lip Chip.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
I'm Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show here at Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care with Dr. Adam Cayot. And very recently, there has been a scare, fortunately has not been in Florida, but in some other states, with some alfalfa cubes that were actually infected with botulism and also some animal parts found in those bags. And we've been actually commenting on that on the show and just letting people know in those states to be aware. So I really wanted to talk to Dr. Adam Cayot again a little bit more in detail about what botulism is, how it occurs, and how that kind of plays out with the horse. So, Dr. Cayot, if you can tell us a bit about botulism.
Yeah, Botox. It is the toxin that's used in Botox. That's correct. So, botulism toxin is a toxin produced by a bacteria called Clostridium botulinum. Clostridium botulinum likes to hang around decaying material, decaying organic material a lot. So and when it decays and it's anaerobic, meaning that it's in an area where there's no oxygen. So that's why we tend to see it in these compressed hay bales and that sort of thing, in hay bales that are put together tightly. A lot of times an animal will be scooped up in the baler, a rat, a snake, whatever that's out in the field, and then start decaying in the bale, and the toxin can be then produced. Horse eats that toxin. It's a neurotoxin, so it affects, it affects the activity between the muscle and the neurojunction, so it blocks that activity, so they become what we call flaccid. It produces basically a flaccid paralysis where their muscles don't work, and horses can have varying degrees of it. So they can be completely down and unable to stand, and those are not good, to varying degrees of neurologic issues. There is a botulism antitoxin that can be given, but it's not going to reverse where the horse is. So if the horse is down, it's not going to magically make that horse be able to stand up. What it does is it just stops the progress of the toxin. So kind of where you are is where you're going to be as far as that goes, but that helps keep it from getting worse, I guess. So certainly you have to be careful if you commonly feed these typically big bales of hay. It's not too common to see it in alfalfa cubes, but they obviously have had issues with that. Any compressed feed source, I suppose you can get it, but it tends to be more commonly in the bigger bales of hay that people just put out and the horses can eat on. Other things that it can be like haylage. So haylage is like silage, but it's hay, and it can get in there and ferment. And if you have a lot of horses, that's people like feeding that because it's an inexpensive feed source, but you're kind of playing with fire. Years ago, we had an issue with haylage in here in Central Florida that ended up killing a lot of horses. So any of those types of things. And certainly inspect your hay. If you smell anything that's like, that's rancid, throw it out. Don't even take a chance. Just don't throw the big round bale or big square bale out there and forget about it. It's easy to do because you like the convenience factor of that, but just go up to it every once in a while and pay attention, certainly, and look at it and make sure if you see anything suspicious, or you see any animal parts or whatever that might have gotten scooped up in that bale, certainly that needs to be addressed. And it certainly can be devastating. As far as treatment goes of botulism, you basically try to give the antitoxin and then it's supportive care. There's not a whole lot we can do. Certainly if the horses are down, that the prognosis for them is grave, and most of them don't recover from that. So it can be devastating, because a lot of times there's a lot of horses, because like I said, it's a big feed source. So it's a big block of hay, or it's a big round bale of hay or whatever. And there's a bunch of horses eating off of it. So a lot of them can be affected at once. And that obviously can be devastating. So always be aware of that. There is a vaccine. There's a botulism vaccine. So if that's what you tend to feed, it's not a bad idea to give your horses that. If that's what you tend to feed, it's fairly effective. There's no vaccine that's 100% effective, but it gives us some line of defense if that's how you feed your horses, and there's nothing wrong with doing that. But just be aware of your hay, and because that tends to be where it happens most.
And also maybe just checking that you're purchasing your hay from as reputable as possible source as well would help.
Absolutely. You can
ask questions.
Listen, yeah, absolutely. I get it. Most feed stores certainly around here know where their feed came, their hay comes from. I grew up in Ohio. I grew up in the Midwest. We baled our own hay,
We did it anyway.
so I baled my own hay. That doesn't happen down here. People down here don't understand what throwing bales on wagons.
I turned by hand. That makes me old, by the way.
But certainly be aware where your hay comes from, and that helps. And obviously the most reputable places. I mean, nobody's going to purposely try to do anything like that. I wouldn't think, but the more you know, the better you are.
Absolutely. Any last things you want to add to that?
No, I mean, just be conscientious of as far as what your horses are eating, and don't be mindless about what they're eating, what you're getting, and how you're feeding your animals.
Thank you. Dr. Adam Cayot, Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care, Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show. Does such a wonderful job, and if his mum is watching, we love it when you tune in. Dr. Cayot was talking about botulism. One of the reasons that we were very focused on that topic right now, as you know, in December, there were a number of bags in some other states that had come up with some botulism. We did not have any reports of that in Florida. We were very fortunate that was not the case. We gave you some numbers. We've been posting and sharing. But even if you open a bag up, oh, look at that. Isaac's like the magic man. Look at him. He got those codes up there: 111222, 111322, 111422, 111522, and 111622. Top of the Rockies was the brand that it was found in, and those were the bags that we are aware of, the numbers that we've been given. That does not mean it's not possible in any other bags. Pete pointed out very, very appropriately to let you know, if you're listening to us on podcast weeks or months later, that this is January of 2023. When this scare actually is of concern, and a number of horses, I think about 100 horses or so, were infected, and I think 40 or 50 sadly passed away. So as you're feeding anything, and especially anything that is kept in a more compressed state, like the cubes or the big hay bales, be aware, just, smell, check, look as the horses begin to eat through it. Keep checking it. Obviously, anything can happen, and also buy your hay from a very reputable source.
It's always a good idea to keep your bags, just to have those codes, just in case. A lot of people throw them right away.
Yes.
Sometimes keeping that little code just in case.
And this is Bre. And after this break, she's going to be with us. I'm going to talk some trails and some riding and rolling and relaying. We'll be right back. This portion of the show is presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. And our TV broadcast sponsor is Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Supporting sponsors are DAC Vitamins and Minerals, Seminole Feed Stores, Lip Chip LLC, Piranha, Florida HVAC Services, Crystal Cryo, Ocala Dog Ranch, and The Drinking Post. Crystal Cryo offers cryo skin facials, cryo slimming, and cryo toning, all non-invasive with no skin damage, no discomfort, no recovery time, and cryo offers a healthier alternative for anti-aging, boost collagen, and freeze fat cells. Check them out now at crystalcryo.net. Crystal Cryo, a beauty spa specializing in body contouring to enhance confidence with self-care, one body at a time.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family owned since 1934. Manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at SeminoleFeed.com.
Horses. Piranha! Oh no! Oh, the humanity! Oh, piranha.
Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care seeks to be a leading international veterinary practice that provides state-of-the-art veterinary care to their patients while fostering professional relationships with their clients that stand the test of time. For 24/7 and the best in equine care, check out Peterson and Smith at petersonsmith.com or like them on Facebook now for more information. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larson Farms, our TV broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
And did you know we're in 750 million homes on all smart TV networks? And did you know there is an app that is completely free called Equus Television? You can download it on your phone and you can watch us all day long if you'd like.
There it is.
Yeah, do it. Louisa Barton here with Dancing Pete Rodda. He has to dance, you know. And we're very pleased to have Bre Ximenes back on the show. I don't think we've had Bre on the show for a year.
A year.
Well, we have a prize for people who aren't on the show for a year.
Wow, I'm leaving. I'm gonna come back in a year and get a lip chip.
You get to pick a lip chip. And listen, I was serious when I said this is a serious right here. This has got a place for a ponytail.
And a ponytail
because
holder.
We have ponies and a ponytail holder because Brad from Lip Chip thinks of everything. But you get to pick your colour. And because we don't like flies and we do love piranha.
See-through.
Oh, that stuff's amazing.
That stuff is amazing, isn't it? There's your goodie bag.
Thank you.
You are very welcome. And yes.
Which one you choosing?
I love turquoise, and that's like got the blue and all.
I know.
Yeah,
I love that.
that's
really
exciting.
Nice. Yes, it is. Oh, and there's a turquoise shirt down there with Lip Chip on it too.
Oh,
you could match.
see?
You'd be styling.
I would be styling.
So, Bre, I can't get this. I don't know why. It must be some form of dyslexia or something that I have. But I can't get the... no matter what. But maybe we could put the poster up
Okay.
And then I actually could read it. I can't possibly mess it up, right?
No.
Isaac?
Isaac? Help.
We did a poster. Look at that. Ride,
Run.
run, roll.
Relay.
Very good. Ride, run, roll, relay. I'm not that. I mean, I am, but I don't know why I can't get it.
Or you could just say the triple R relay.
Yes. Well, I think what I should do is say ride, because that's my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Run, yeah. Roll comes after run, because I probably would be rolling
Mm-hmm.
after running. Because that would probably be
'Cause
all
you
I would
tripped?
have left. Yes. And then relay.
You'd go do
just
it again.
goes at the end. I go and do it again. So that makes
Get a
sense.
friend.
So I can do this. Ride, run, roll, relay. When? And what is it?
So April 1st is the date this year. We had it in November last year, but April 1st. And of
You
course,
wanted to have it on April Fool's Day?
it's going to be on
So
April
people
Fool's
can roll.
Day. And they can have a great time. And so the good thing about this is you don't have to do all 3 legs of the race unless you want to. And there are very few people who do. But those who
some
do, they
do?
do it well.
Really?
Yeah.
So they have a team, and it comprises of.
1 equestrian, 1 runner, and 1 mountain biker.
Oh, that's the role.
That's your role. So overall, it's a lot of fun, and
But some people do it all.
some people do it all. We only had 1 person do it last year. He was also our hero team, so he was amazing. I can't think of his name right now, of course.
So he
It's the
rode,
lights.
he ran, and he rolled.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Yeah.
It's very
I
impressive.
hope you had some compassion for him after all that.
We had lots of compassion for him.
That is our word of the week, by the way, if you didn't know.
And we're going to hear it lots of times.
Compassion. Yes, I would have a lot of compassion for him after.
So how far do they go?
Okay, so we start off basically with the runners. Originally, it was the equestrians, which is a very exciting thing when you use a pop gun and you send 30 horses off all together.
Hopefully the same direction.
In the same direction. And so it was very fun to learn through that process. Of course, it's very exciting, especially with the ones who don't like to do races, and so they're like spinning in circles and stuff. And then you have the ones with the pretty red bow, which I learned are the biters, or kickers.
Kickers.
Yeah.
In England, the red bow is the kicker.
Okay.
That's the one you don't get
Yeah.
close to the rear end of at all.
But so we'll start
Oh,
off.
very funny. Did you bring a red bow?
We should.
So we start off with the runners, and they do a 5K, and they come back, and then they pass off a band that then the equestrians will go out, and they do 5 miles around the Florida Horse Park. Then they pass off to the mountain bikers, and the mountain bikers do 8 miles. And they all start and stop at the same location. So the gist of this is trail etiquette, which is like huge, especially on the Cross-Florida Greenway, because you want everybody to understand what the other person is experiencing out there, why they're doing it, why they love it. And it boils down to everybody loves just being outdoors and having a good time. It's just there's different ways to do it. So we've got people already that are like meeting their teams. I had some lady contact me this past week, and she said, I just drove 2 hours to go meet my team and practice, and just on the passing off, because as you know, your horses are your fight or flight type response, and when they have a runner coming at them or they're passing off to a mountain bike, that can get a little hot, and you want to show the horses some compassion and have them.
That was good.
Have them go second, and then that way at least it kind of helps them learn from each other, learn about the trails, because a lot of people don't know our trails, and then they even live here in Ocala, and they're shocked to find out how great they are.
Ooh, one looks like it's a little excited on the right.
That one was. It was.
Yes, that one.
I noticed that gate isn't your normal walk, trot, or canter.
That was going up the big sand hill. That's back when the equestrians did a 10-mile loop, and we shortened it because it's really not meant to get the horses that excited. You're supposed to have a good time. This is like a family friendly type thing. You have a lot of people who actually come together as a family, and so you'll have the mom, the dad, and the son or daughter, and they're doing each leg of the race, and it's almost like card night, but outdoor style.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's a lot of fun.
Here's a relay.
That's a great shot because that horse was like strong and steady. And yeah, that's the runner coming up to the equestrian. And it looks like it's a little concerned, but it did really well.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I'm not sure what you're doing, but it's probably okay.
What'd you sign me up for,
I foresee
Mom?
the start is the mountain bikes to the runners, then to the equestrian.
Right. It can always change. The ride, run, roll relay, it's just the triple R relay. So
Pretty horse right there.
Oh yeah. And actually, there were several equestrians, because this is at the Florida Horse Park, that because this was during COVID, of course, we had several teams that their teammates weren't able to make it. And so I think one of them was a mountain biker and another one was an equestrian. And sure enough, if they didn't go out to some other group over in the Florida Horse Park and they were like, hey, do you all have any extra horses? Because we've already paid for this spot. Do you want to go? And they were like, yeah, we got 45 minutes till we jump, the jumping horse. And they went and did the course. And
Wow.
I think they might have come in one of the top 5 places, too, for
Wow.
fastest horse. So it's crazy. That was
So
one
there's
of the
lots
first
of
ones.
recruiting there.
There's lots of recruiting.
How
Yeah.
fun.
And that's what we tell everybody. It's like, if your person can't show up and if there's somebody who wants to go out and,
Yeah, jump in and fill the spot.
fill the spot, they're welcome to. We had some biker that was only able to do half of it last time. And sure enough, somebody in the crowd was like, I'll do the other half for you. And we're like, go for it, man. Go for it.
So fun.
So, yeah.
That sound meant that we are at the end of this segment. So I've got a few more questions for Bre about time and I think it's 8 to 1, but we're going to talk a little bit more about that and meeting point and signing up. And we're also going to talk to her a little bit about the trails out there because they are the best in the world.
They are.
So stay with us. The second half of the show is coming up.
Welcome back to the Horse Talk Show.
You never heard of a talking horse? Well, listen to this.
With your host, Louisa Barton.
What does it feel like to be in love with a horse?
Presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience.
Back in the saddle again.
Now, here's your pretty Louisa Barton.
You're fab. You're switched on. You're a bit of all right. Yes. Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Larson Farms is our TV broadcast sponsor. Mr. Richard Larson, a man of great integrity, cares about every single bale of hay and about taking care of his customers. He also has a huge heart for those genuinely in need. Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa.
With over 70 years of collective experience in the horse industry, Lip Chip was built with integrity by horsemen for horsemen. Introducing the Chip Link system, powered by Lip Chip, where a 15-digit unique ID becomes a key to unlock not only identity, but also health paperwork, owner information, and even photos of each horse. So simple, even a child can do it. The future is here. The future is Lip Chip.
This show is brought to you in part by DAC Vitamins and Minerals of Florida. All horses need a solid immune system, excellent joint support, a healthy gut, and DAC has all the vitamins and minerals they need with the NASC stamp of approval. So like them on Facebook now or go to feeddac.com. DAC, it makes a world of difference.
This hour of the Horse Talk Show is presented by Palm Chevrolet in Ocala, where the entire team is committed to making your experience in sales and service hassle-free and easier than ever with no games or gimmicks. Come in and visit on Southwest College Road or online at palmchevrolet.com. A second-to-none experience with all the amenities. Palm Chevy, find new roads.
The Equine Performance and Innovative Centre, situated on 30 pristine acres in the horse capital of the world, is one of the finest and most complete conditioning and rehab centres for equines and canines in the nation, including an equine hyperbaric chamber, aqua pacer, water treadmill, cold water leg spa, equine swimming pool, Eurosizer, and more. Epic equine veterinarians specialising in rehab and conditioning. For more information, go to epcrehab.com or find them on social media. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the second half of the Horse Talk Show, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
Dancing Pete Rodda in the studio. Louisa Barton here, and our special guest, we have Bre Ximenes here. And we've been talking a little bit about the ride, run, roll, relay.
You got it.
Woo! After you got to see it, it was a lot easier to remember.
Well, that's very visual, photographic, that sort of thing. So Isaac, just like clockwork, pops that back up, because I was going to say, would you pop that back up for us?
He's good.
He is, isn't he? He's on the ball. I talk about him all the time.
This is good. We have our way to say, okay, what does this cost?
Yeah, so $70 per person, and you have 3 people for a team. Or if you decide to do, 2 runs yourself, or, you want to do the whole thing yourself down there, the solo team is $150. So it's benefiting the Cross Florida Greenway, basically through the volunteers. So the money will get put back into, and I don't know if I sent any pictures of the stuff that it purchased for the trail crews, but they got themselves a DR mower. They got a whole bunch of trimming tools and lots of chainsaws and stuff like that. Yeah, that's more to talk about the trail stuff for sure.
Yes, we'll hold on that one right there. And let's flip back to the poster one more time, Isaac. If you're watching on Facebook or on Equus Television, you can actually see this, because I've got a few more questions. So benefiting is the volunteer organizations of the Cross Florida Greenway from the fundraising. So then you've got a solo team, which is $150. That's one person doing
all of it.
70 each for 3. And I think we need to do a Horse Talk Show team for this. And
that would be so good.
And I think that Isaac needs to be the mountain bike guy.
Yep.
And you're going to be the runner?
He is going to run, because it's funny, because he'll dance the entire way and we'll video it. And then I'll do the riding part. And then I think we need to do this. And Pete can pay for himself and I'll pay for Isaac.
There you go.
We'll all it'll be a good cause, and it'll be April 1st, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Yes.
And that's at the Florida Horse Park, which means you can actually visit my ass while you're there.
Oh.
Mary, quite contrary. Just
donkey.
Yes, proper definition for a donkey. And that is 11851 Southwest 16th Avenue, by the way. You can create your own team.
You can. And there are awards for creative things, including names.
And dancing.
For the team. Dancing. There might even be something about, like, the fanciest team. We have lots of awards. We give lots of awards away. And all of it, you go to runsignup.com/triple-r-relay. And even if you don't have a team yet, go ahead and sign up. We will find you teammates. If you don't.
I've got people.
You've got your
Gigi
people.
can supervise.
That's a great position.
Yeah, it's a good. We need a supervisor, believe me.
I'm the DJ for this whole thing, so you will get to hear me the entire time.
Lovely.
And I talk all about the wonderful things on the Cross Florida Greenway and why that event is so wonderful.
Fantastic. And I'll talk to Betsy. She'll get me the right horse for the job.
There you go.
Betsy, you get me the right horse. And there's raffles, food, and vendor booths.
Oh, there's all kinds of good stuff
all on
there.
The beautiful trails.
Yes.
So this is fantastic. And now I'm going to let Isaac take us to some of these trail photos.
Let's do some trail stuff.
Because we need to do some trail stuff, because this time goes by like
so fast.
So fast, yes. So the trails are the best.
They're amazing.
aren't they?
They are amazing.
We are indeed blessed to have
We have over
access.
340 miles of hike, bike, equestrian, and multi-use trails.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It really is a beautiful, beautiful place.
Super
to be.
fortunate. It's 110 miles long. It's only a mile wide. And a lot of people who live so close to it have no idea how close they are. That's the equestrian route for the Ride, Run, Roll Relay.
Nice.
Like I said, it's only 5 miles. So
Yeah.
How long do I have to run for?
it's a 5K, so like 2.1 miles.
Oh.
Yeah. And you can dance the entire way. Look at that.
So that's our
Across the
land
interstate,
bridge,
yes.
which is state of the art. You
Isn't
know,
it?
we were the first, which makes it
Yes.
amazing.
Yes.
Of course, that's an area where all the trail users get pinched in
Yes.
and go out to the other side, either east or west. And that's pretty iconic. A lot of people just go up there to take pictures, but there's definitely a paved trail through there now. It covers half of it. And so the equestrians have a swath on the opposite side, so they're not actually on the paved trail itself, which is important, especially when you have multiple
That's what
people.
you'll be doing. So
There you
better
go.
start training now.
Train it up.
Who's chasing me?
You can be. Put a pretty girl in front of him, and he'll run the entire
There
way.
you go.
It'll be
Well, I
fine.
think you're in luck. There's
Yeah.
lots of fancy people.
Yeah, there you go, fancy.
Fancy.
people. So miles and miles of trails. So blessed to be in a place that, you know, I've mentioned this before on the show, that I didn't go fox hunting when I was a little girl because I wanted to catch a fox. I actually liked fox a lot. I never wanted to catch a fox, but I did want to have the farms all open and be able to go galloping across all the fields that we couldn't ride on a normal day, and I could put my pony behind all the huntspeople and take off and get to ride. Now we here are so fortunate that we have places that we can just go and ride.
Right.
And enjoy some of the prettiest scenery.
And we're so lucky, I feel very lucky, that I have a lot of volunteers who actually come out to the Greenway and they volunteer their time mowing. We have chainsaw certifications and stuff, especially after we've had these really bad storms. That's a lot of work, the major headaches.
Yes.
And then you've got just regular trail crew days that twice a month, the bike club goes out. Once a month, you have a Greenway equestrian group that goes out. I think there's a couple other groups now, just lots of individual people who aren't even a part of groups. They go out and they just say, hey, I'm going to go out and work in this area. And as long as they've had their training, I'm good with that. You know,
they can go out there and clear the way.
Oh,
they
definitely.
have compassion for us riders.
They're very, very.
They don't want us to get stuck on a trail. And I've had that happen. I was riding with Jody Moore, actually. We got stuck on a trail because a tree had fallen down and there was no way under it or over it. It was too tall to go over and it was way too short to go under. So I do know, and we had to turn around and find a different way to go, which was an adventure all by itself. And yes, I know that's not the word, but that was an adventure indeed to get back out of that. So having that maintenance is huge.
It's huge. It's very huge. And other people who are on our property as well, they keep their areas mowed, they maintain the fences and report those volunteer hours. But for people who want to volunteer, you go to floridastateparks.org and click on Get Involved. And then from there, you can do any state park. It doesn't have to just be ours, but any state park, and sign up as an individual volunteer. And if you put the Cross-Border Greenway first,
please,
it hits me an email, and then I'll tell you all the stuff that you need to know. But definitely do that, because then that way you're protected under our insurance when you're on our property. So it's very important.
Yes, to do it. Yes, to do it the proper way, because you want that. Yes.
And probably like everywhere, without volunteers, you guys couldn't do what you do.
No, we have more volunteers than we do staff. Volunteers are amazing.
They are the best, aren't they? The Florida Horse Park always says the same thing. Volunteers, they're amazing.
They show compassion everywhere they go.
Oh, that was good. Bre, thank you so much. I don't know why we don't have you on more often than once a year, because you're so much fun and a great guest.
Okay, well.
Can we do that?
Just give me a call. Ring-a-ling.
Yes. And you got a cat.
I'm going to be compassionate and say we got to wrap it up.
You can't say that.
I can't say compassionate.
We'll be back in just a few minutes. We're going to have Jenna Rovira with us from the MTRA, and excited to have her as a guest today, so don't miss it. Thank you to the presenting sponsor of this portion of the Horse Talk Show, Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to our TV broadcast sponsor, Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Also, thank you to supporting sponsors, Nirvana Medical Spa, TT Distributors, Summit Joint Performance, Equine, Midnight Rose Equestrian, the Florida Horse Park, Horse Farms Forever, and the Equine Performance and Innovative Center. Having an air conditioner that works well in Florida is a must. Experience peace of mind by working with Florida HVAC Services, a family-owned and operated company taking pride in always putting their customers first, providing air conditioner repair, installation, and maintenance services on all makes and models. For those suffering from allergies or asthma, air quality testing is recommended and hospital-grade air filters are available. Ask about a pure air filtration system today. Check them out at flhvacservices.com or like them on Facebook. Florida HVAC Services, serving all of North Central Florida with honesty, integrity, and the highest value of workmanship. And that's 100% guaranteed.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family owned since 1934. Manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at seminolefeed.com.
Horses. Piranha! Oh no! Oh, the humanity! Oh, piranha.
My name is Dr. Natalie Solomon. I formulated Equine with cutting-edge science and technology alongside the passion that is represented by a lifelong love of horses. I created a product that I would trust for my horses because they deserve nothing but the best for their bodies. Horses rely on us to take care of them, to love them, to respect them. This is how Equine came to life. Equine, CBD for your horse that you can trust.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the Horse Talk Show, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
This is Dancing Pete, who's going to dance his way all the way through the ride, run, roll relay. I'm Louisa Barton. We've got special guest here in the studio with us, Development Director Jenna Rovira from the Marion Therapeutic Riding Association, otherwise known as the MTRA. And we've had Bre with us talking trails and running and riding and rolling. And it's been wonderful. Jenna, thank you for being with us on the show. We have some gifts here for you. We have some lip chip caps. You can pick your color. We've got some more down there if you'd like a different color. And, whoops, it's caught in your chair. But we actually have it's not really see-through. It just looks like it's see-through. That actually does say piranha. A piranha bag full of goodies for you.
Awesome.
For being our guest.
Thank you. Very, very nice.
You have a very special celebration coming up very soon. And it's celebrating 40 years. That's a lot.
40 years. We are so excited. This will be our 40th year since opening at MTRA. And so we want to kick it off. And we're having our first ever gala out at the CF Vintage Farm.
Beautiful place.
February 4th. And we plan to have a great time that night. We're really, really excited.
What are we doing?
Glad you asked. We have
probably dancing.
We have dancing, a live band with Gypsy Sparrow. We have a plated meal provided by La Casella, and we've got artwork and auction items. we are going to be showcasing a lot of great memories from the past 40 years. We want to really celebrate the staff, the volunteers, and the riders, and the outcomes that have come from 40 years of service in our community. And we're really, really excited.
It's really awesome.
There's going to be dancing.
There will, of course, be dancing. Managed by Dancing Pete Rodda, who gets everybody dancing, even if they don't want to dance, or even if they can't dance, or even if they don't think they can dance.
That's right.
Pete makes them dance.
So does this mean we can expect you there, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
If you want me there.
Oh, well, yes. We need somebody to get this dancing started.
That's right.
Yeah, he's the one. So 40 years, and you can share a little bit with us for our listeners that don't know a lot about MTRA and how important what you do with your students there, and tell us a little bit about the program.
Absolutely. So our mission is to provide the therapeutic horseback riding and equine assisted learning activities to children and adults with any type of physical, emotional, or cognitive disability. We have a few different programs. Our traditional therapeutic horseback riding is geared towards any type of disability. So that might be multiple sclerosis, cerebral palsy, stroke victims, a whole host of things. Autism works wonders for a lot of different challenges that people face. Then we have our Freedom Reins, which is geared towards veterans. We are partnered with the Ocala Vet Center, so now we're offering psychotherapy through the Ocala Vet Center as part of that program.
That's wonderful.
It's been amazing, and one of our veterans is going to be at the gala talking about his experience, so we're excited for that. And then our equine experience is geared towards foster children and at-risk youth. So that focuses on a lot of life skills and communication skills, compassion, empathy, self-reflection. And
lovely children. Oh.
As kind of an umbrella from that program, we developed something called Bridge to Success. So now we're working on job placement and independent skills, trying to get these young adults and late teenagers the skills they need to successfully enter the workforce as well. So we are looking to partner with different businesses.
Just gave me goosebumps.
Oh, it's exciting. It's me too.
Seriously, you just gave me goosebumps because that's something we so need.
It's so neat, and with all the job opportunities with the World Equestrian Center, with the Florida Horse Park, you guys have offered a lot of opportunities for our kids. So we're looking forward to getting them placed. And then the newest program we implemented, we've partnered with Advent Health. Their
Advent
pediatric rehab program, and they are now providing hippotherapy. The pilot program is speech therapy. So one of their speech pathologists works with us, and we're seeing amazing outcomes. If that continues to take off, which we think and hope it will, then eventually we might be able to implement occupational and physical therapy too. So that's pretty cool, because out of all the horses in this area and the great medical programs we have, now we're finally
to partner
seeing
those things together.
Yes,
absolutely. That's gosh, that's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah. It's a lot, and it takes a lot of compassion.
It takes tons of compassion,
and a lot of empathy, and it's for me, this is something that honestly it makes me cry. Genuinely makes me cry, and I mean cry good, and I just think there's nothing better than horses helping people who have any kind of disability, have been through any sort of trauma, have had any kind of difficulties in their childhood, foster children who've been through so much in many cases, and they get to attach themselves to what I think is the most incredible animal in the world, and it's just fantastic what it does.
And it is. It's really neat, especially the foster care program and the veterans program. I mean, you think, how hard is it to open up to people who have maybe hurt you, or you get so resilient and focused on handling things yourself that you might not want to open up to a therapist or a counselor, or maybe you've had several that have rotated out of their roles in your life, so then you stop trusting. So the horses act as a mirror They reflect what's going on. And having that consistent volunteer, that consistent horse, that consistent instructor, it provides the stability and consistency that really kind of offers a natural outlet for these kids and young adults.
Wonderful.
So your main therapists are fed oats and hay and grain?
They are. We absolutely could not do what we do without the horses and without our volunteers. But the horses, I mean, they're the magic. And you think about how unnatural it is for these horses to have sidewalkers on either side of them in some cases, a leader, riders that might not be balanced initially, because it takes time for some of these folks to develop that and develop the strength and the core and all of that. So
everybody should get a ticket to the gala.
They should.
Yes. And how do they get a ticket to the gala?
So you can go to our website, www.mtraocala.org, and we have a link on there. You can also go to, I think it's www.eventcreate/ something hearts and horses. Go to our website.
Go to MTRA. That's going to
or visit our Facebook page. Yes. We've got all the links on there as well.
Mm-hmm. So you can get tickets, and it's February the
4th.
And it's at the beautiful vintage farm, the CF Vintage Farm there on the way down to the horse park on the right-hand side. If you haven't seen it, it's absolutely gorgeous. And you can get the address as well at the when you get your ticket, of course. So if you're not familiar with that, but absolutely beautiful facility to have the event. And so stay with us for the last segment, can you? Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Because we have to go to break. But MTRA, an absolutely wonderful organization to support and to help them with this event. Make sure you're there so you can see him dancing. And, he'll make you dance even if you don't want to. So it'll be a lot of fun. And we'll be back for the last segment of the show with Pete's Tip of the Week. So don't miss that. Stay with us. Thank you to the presenting sponsor of this portion of the Horse Talk Show, Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to our TV broadcast sponsor, Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Also, thank you to supporting sponsors, Nirvana Medical Spa, TT Distributors, Summit Joint Performance, Equine, Midnight Rose Equestrian, the Florida Horse Park, Horse Farms Forever, and the Equine Performance and Innovative Center.
This hour of the Horse Talk Show is presented by Palm Chevrolet in Ocala, where the entire team is committed to making your experience in sales and service hassle-free and easier than ever with no games or gimmicks. Come in and visit on Southwest College Road or online at palmchevrolet.com. A second-to-none experience with all the amenities. Palm Chevy, find new roads.
The Equine Performance and Innovative Center, situated on 30 pristine acres in the horse capital of the world, is one of the finest and most complete conditioning and rehab centers for equines and canines in the nation, including an equine hyperbaric chamber, aqua pacer, water treadmill, cold water leg spa, equine swimming pool, Eurosizer, and more. Epic equine veterinarians specializing in rehab and conditioning. For more information, go to epcrehab.com or find them on social media.
This show is brought to you in part by TT Distributors, dedicated to bringing their customers the largest selection of quality horse supplements, products, and farrier supplies in Florida at affordable prices. Also online at ttdistributors.com.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the final segment of the Horse Talk Show for this week, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
Dancing Pete Rodda here, Louisa Barton, and we have had Bre Ximenes here with us. We've been talking trails and a great event coming up April 1st that you need to be part of. We've been chatting also to Jenna from MTRA about another event you've got to be part of. There's so much fun stuff going on in the horse capital of the world. That's going to be February 4th, so make sure you check out the MTRA on Facebook or the website and get signed up for both of those. That means you are booked now, February 4th and April 1st.
It's in my calendar.
Do you have it? You're booked. But this very important part of the show, drum roll. That was very good. Well done. We've got Pete's Horsemanship Tip of the Week.
Dancin Pete's Tip of the Week, brought to you by Complementary Horsemanship. Today's Tip of the Week is... We did consistency last time. Now let's do persistence. So how persistent are you with your horse? And what I always say is most people give up after about 2.5 minutes when it doesn't work. So how persistent can you be? So that means, do you give up because it didn't work in 3 minutes, 5 minutes, an hour? Or you gave up because it took you a week to accomplish it. So be persistent. That's what they're looking for. It's not the strongest horse. It's usually the most persistent horse that leads the herd. So be the persistent leader. Persistent.
It's good.
Thank you. I've done this before.
A little bit. Round of applause for Dancing Pete. So I think I have told this story a couple of times before, so if you've heard it, I'm sorry. But if you haven't, you'll love it, and I'll try not to cry. Quite a few years ago now, I would say, and I don't know how many, but I was on the mounted unit for the Sheriff's Department here as a volunteer, and we did a Black Stallion project with the book back then, and I'm going to say it was probably at least 10 years ago, maybe even more, I'm not sure. But anyway, Sonny was my Tennessee Walker who passed away in 21, and he was absolutely amazing horse and so kind and loved children. And I was chosen to go to the school that had some disabled children, both mentally and physically disabled children. And it was a very small classroom of students. I would say it was probably only maybe 5 or 6 students altogether. And when they came out, I had the horse trailer parked and I was in my green, tough Sheriff's Department looking uniform, like I'm tough, right? And yes, right. And I've got Sonny and the book, and I'm supposed to talk about the book, and then the kids get to meet the horse, and then they get the book. So I'm standing there, and the teacher comes out with this group of students, and she is in the lead with the kids, and then she has another teacher in the back, and they're bringing this small group out towards Sonny. And there is a young child in a wheelchair with her who is screaming. And I don't mean screaming like yelling or crying. I mean just a scream, like you would if you were in fear. But over and over and over again, this child was screaming. And when they arrived at me and Sonny, my horse, the teacher looked at me, the lead teacher looked at me and said, "I'm so sorry." And she was not a horse person as such, and she looked a little concerned about, is the screaming, did they tell you about the screaming? And I said, no, it's okay, it's fine. Sonny's fine, he's fine. And so Sonny immediately, with no prompting from me, dropped his head into the lap of the little boy in the wheelchair. And actually, I'd love to be able to find out who this little boy is, and I think he's probably a great rider right now. But Sonny dropped his head down into, lowered right down to him, even with the screaming, and the teacher looked like surprised that he wasn't, someone screaming. Yeah. And so I took the little boy's hands and put them on Sonny's face, and I just started taking his hand up and down Sonny's face, and then he stopped screaming. And I looked at the teacher who was standing next to him, and there were tears pouring down her face. And I looked at her in my green Sheriff's Department tough uniform, and I got tears pouring down my face, right? And she looks at me and she said, "He hasn't stopped screaming since he was able to make an audible noise unless he's asleep. Not at home, not in the classroom, not any time unless he was asleep since he could make a sound. So all his life, he screamed." And he just stopped. He went completely silent. He just started running his hands down on his face. And I was just bawling by this time, and Sonny was just like, I'm your best friend. How can I get closer to you? Because that's how Sonny was. And this little boy was just absolutely precious. And the teacher just looked at me and she couldn't speak. She said, thank you.
Yeah.
And she said, I'm going to tell his parents to find some horses. I said, please do this. Yes, please. And all the way back to the classroom after they left, he was trying to turn around and climb up in his wheelchair to see Sonny. And all the way back to the classroom, he didn't make a sound.
Wow.
And the teachers were just... And what made me think about wanting to share this, and I've shared it before, but I know we have a lot of new listeners all the time and different podcasts and TV and everything, is because programs like yours are that life-changing. And I don't know what happened to that little boy, but I'm going to say he went on to be just an amazing young man. And he's probably like 15 or 16 by now, I would think. And maybe he's even a rider. But it changed his day. It changed the teacher's world. And I'm quite sure the parents took that and said, hey, and who knows, maybe even end up going through your program.
May have, yeah.
But just amazing what you can do with horses and how therapeutic horses are. To have such a majestic, magnificent, massive animal that loves you and that shows compassion. And that was not, I'm not saying that because it's the word, but Sonny did, I mean,
but
he
she
did.
did say it.
I did say it, but Sonny showed
But
incredible.
that's one of the best ways that you can describe that connection between the horse and the people that they're with.
That Sonny knew that child needed him and needed that connection, and he knew just exactly what to do. And I don't think Sonny always loved kids, but I don't think I ever saw Sonny that still or that the way that he was with that.
Have
that
you
young man.
ever heard about some people
So
believe?
now we're done crying.
Yeah.
Yes.
That some people believe that we are domesticated as humans when we turn about 11 or 12, because that's when we're usually told you can't do that, you can't do that. And so kids always connect with horses at a higher level because of that. They're not domesticated. They're still in that wild state of, oh, I can feel your energy and you can feel me kind of thing. So
yeah, I think that's
why I've always been a kid my whole life.
Yes, I refused to grow up. But
Peter Pan.
What we're going to ask Isaac to do here is pop these two events back up for us, if he can find those here on the screen, so that you can see both of these wonderful events that are coming up: the Ride, Run, Roll Relay, April 1st, 8 to 1 p.m. at the Florida Horse Park, and you can get signed up for that, and you can have a runner, an equestrian, a mountain biker, and a lot of fun watching Dancing Pete dancing as he's running, and he's going to start training tomorrow. He's already promised me. But do have compassion for him when you see him completely out of breath. And one more quick poster for you. The MTRA's 40-year celebration, February 4th at CF Vintage Farm from 6 to 10. Lots of fun, dancing, food. Woo-hoo. And I want to thank our guests and Dancing Pete. Whether you're in Ocala, Marion County, the horse capital of the world, or not, happy horsing around. Until the same time next week.